I wasn't planning to do a trailer reaction to Guillermo Del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities, but I checked out the trailer and I was so blown away that even in a spooky season that is going to involve Michael Myers, Pinhead, Chucky, a new series from Mike Flanagan, and the Sanderson sisters, I still think this may be one of my most anticipated projects now that I've seen the visuals packed into this trailer for Guillermo Del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities. So I wanted to just go ahead and share this trailer with you guys. I wanted to react to it and talk about why it seems so special to me and why my hopes are so sky high. So if you will indulge me, let's go ahead and watch and react to the trailer for Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities in 3, 2, 1.
Picture your mind as a cabinet where you lock up your darkest thoughts and deepest fears. What would happen if you opened that cabinet for the world to see? We are about to find out.
This is one of those nightmare specials, the kind you never get to the bottom of.
What was
Promising.
this family doing here? The one on the walls.
Lot 36. Ain't you curious?
Whatever is in there is mine now.
Pay attention to the faces in this trailer. This cast is freaking ridiculous.
Forest. The forest that takes the dead
Beautiful
inside.
horrorscapes. Production value out of
See
it.
my paintings.
Nobody makes a creature like Toro.
Mercy.
There's a void inside of me, inside of everyone.
What is happening?
So look at this cast. They got everybody.
There's an endless abyss.
You are really harshing my mellow, man.
Oh, the body horror.
Here they
So
come.
gorgeous.
That body will be your coffin. I'll see you buried in it.
Welcome.
They have everybody.
Welcome to my Cabinet of Curiosities.
Thank you for having me. There you have it, Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities. Let me go ahead and chuck this laptop and the headphones to the side. All right, were you guys as moved as me? Are you as excited as I am? Because I think this thing has insane potential. Look, as a horror fan, I love Creepshow. I love Creepshow 2. I love other anthologies, more modern anthologies, for example, like VHS. And of course, Trick or Treat. Sam is here today hanging out with me. But all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get presumptive. I'm going to get crazy. I'm going to say that this thing holds the potential to be the best horror anthology of all time if this turns out to be a true anthology. There's actually a through line, some sort of narrative fabric that finds a way to connect and tie all these stories together. I think we're going places, and the script has to be promising. When you look at the amount of talent that is going to be in front of the lens, this ensemble is nuts. We have people you usually see in like Academy Award bait, but we also have people with much more niche followings that kind of get into cult classic type projects or just have smaller fan bases, and we're just throwing them all together. And these insane stories that seem to be going for every subgenre of horror. We have psychological horror with stuff like people being buried alive. We have more paranormal stories where we have ghosts and ghouls of all shapes and sizes. We have things that look like they represent the demonic. We have things that look like tortured souls with unfinished business. Maybe their eyes have been plucked from their cranium and blood is pouring down their face. We have body horror where it looks like flesh is just mangling and melting and oozing. It's disturbing. It makes your stomach turn and it makes you smile if you're a real horror fan. And it's Guillermo del Toro, so of course the creatures look fantastic. Nobody makes and sculpts crafts a creature the way Guillermo del Toro does, and the horrorscapes are breathtaking. What a beautiful, just exquisite, dripping with aesthetic and atmosphere trailer this was. This has to land in October. I'm so glad it's coming out just in time for Halloween. So be it as it may that I'm a huge Chucky fan and a huge Hellraiser fan, big Michael Myers fanboy, this could very well be my favorite project that comes out in October. Few people are able to kind of mesh CGI and practical effects together the way Guillermo Del Toro does, and he does it so effortlessly. That's how it feels, because over the course of the runtime, you start to take for granted the visuals you are being gifted. You will see a monster or some sort of monstrosity, some entity, some paranormal being that you know could never exist, but you just start to believe it does exist, and your mind doesn't question it. There's no uncanny valley usually with his projects. You just see this disturbing being, and it looks like it is just as real as the actor that is playing off of it. He has a way of doing that. He's also so good about taking these fictionalized kind of fantasy, imaginative horrors and using them as a way to explore real world horrors. That is a very classic thing. That is what horror is predicated upon. And he does it in a way that's always clever and sly and thought-provoking. And I love him for that. Guillermo Del Toro is just he seems like such a wonderful human being. Anytime you watch a horror documentary, he almost inevitably makes an appearance, and he's there just espousing all this love for this genre and films of every different type of horror subgenre. And if for some reason he's unavailable to lend his voice to that project, then you always have somebody who has collaborated with him or met him or worked for him, and they have nothing but glowing praise for him and his imagination, his creativity, and his generosity, and the way that he treats his actors and his collaborators. So I just want the best for him and this project, especially because it looks so amazing and moving. I cannot wait to see these 8 stories and just what they're going to give us. To me, this is reminiscent of something we haven't had in a long time. Like, think of this sort of collective shared experience we used to have when networks on cable television would go ahead and give you something that we could all indulge in for like a week in the spooky season. Think about like the It TV series or Salem's Lot in the 70s. There's these sort of cultural moments to where people would go home, you would watch it. If you were a kid, you'd watch it, and then you'd be up all night trying to stave off the boogeyman and not have nightmares. And then you'd go to school and at recess, talk to your friends about what you saw and how freakish it was and how crazy it was and what's going to happen tonight. We don't get a lot of that nowadays because there's just so much to devour and to talk about, and we move on so quickly. So I love that this isn't just going to be one film. This is going to be spaced out over several nights, and just allows for so much. There's so much potential in so many different capacities with this project. I love it. I'm loving the look. I'm loving the aesthetic. I'm loving the vibe. I'm loving the thematic potential. I'm loving this crazy ensemble and the amount of talent. I'm loving the beautiful visuals. And I cannot wait to see what horror mastermind Guillermo Del Toro has up his sleeve. And I also love that the way he's introducing and seeing this whole project. It feels like a nod to the past. I've said he's a horror aficionado. This feels very Hitchcockian, and I love it. This is something Alfred Hitchcock used to do. And of course, that cabinet concept is dark, it's beautiful, and I love it. Like I said, hard pass on opening up my cabinet and showing you guys all of my most depraved, darkest thoughts, but I'm glad that he is brave enough to do it, and I can't wait to explore those depraved thoughts in October. Let me know what you guys thought of this trailer. Are you as excited as I am? Let me know down in the comment section. And one more thing. Have yourself a great day. I'm Nate for natemareflix saying that's a wrap.